Shalom. I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of time to get on. We're gonna address a couple of things, and then when I'm done addressing it, I'm gonna post it for everybody to see. Shalom, shalom. Pray all is well. All right. Anybody, I'm gonna go ahead and get started because anybody can go back and watch the video, so it is what it is. But anybody who knows me, I'm total opposite of Judah. You know, Judah's real. He wears his heart on the sleeves and stuff like that, and as do I in certain things. But I'm more the laid back, stay to myself, quiet type of person. Quiet type of person, right? And I've always been the type of brother who avoids drama. But in this situation, I had a conversation with a brother. He hit me up the other day, and he was asking in regards of the topics and stuff that we discussed, and asked us to move on or whatnot. And I told him that the reason why we still address certain things is because we get messages from other brothers and other sisters who ask us for help. They feel like they're stuck in a situation, and some people, they'll call it a cult when they call us, and they feel like there's no way out because the bullying, and they know the fear of when you leave, the name calling and the false accusations and stuff like that. So you look out for those brothers and sisters who feel like they're in that situation. But like I said, I'm one of those people. If things are said about me, I pretty much let it slide, and I let the Most High deal with it. But I'm gonna give y'all some insight of some of the stuff that I have to deal with, so to give y'all a better understanding of why it is we do certain things that we do. So bear with me, but here we go. So one of the first things that y'all gotta understand is how the ranking system works in IUIC. It's not about your studying. It's not about you studying for yourself and you bringing stuff to them, and then they take that information and it's all about the scriptures. It's about you be quiet, you do what the hell I tell you to do, you shut the hell up, and what can you do for me, and how many behinds you can kiss, and that's how you make rank. And if you think I'm lying, I'm about to play a video for you so you can hear it for yourself. And I don't want no brother or no sister contacting me telling me that I need to leave it alone and be quiet. I don't want to hear that BS. If you scared, if you weak, turn this off, because this ain't the one for you. So I'm gonna show you how the ranking system works.
Hey, shalom, Israel. Guess who I'm with? The captain from Boston. Brother been with us for a long time, keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments. This year he made it to be a captain. A lot of captains want to know, and a lot of officers and soldiers want to know, how do you keep their rank? Hold it, brother.
Shalom, Messiah, brothers, Captain Gideon. If you want to keep your rank, just follow orders. Don't make no decision without consulting your head. You don't have a head. Don't think for yourself. Like the deacon always say, let the leadership think for you. Don't make no decision on your own. So, Suble can be a rank. Not one.
So, Captain said, if you want to make rank, you just follow orders. You do what the leadership tells you. Don't think for yourself, and let them do the thinking for you. I know this to be true for myself, because when I was moving up, it wasn't about the scriptures that I knew. It was more so about what I can do for them. I'm not going to go into details about the stuff that I can do, that I did for them. But it was always, what can I do for them? So the moment I left Dallas and I came to Austin, I moved up the ranks, and I became a 50. It was because it was the stuff that I was able to provide for them. It wasn't anything about the scriptures at all, because I was still a babe and I had no leadership around me. And it's the same thing that's applied now. It ain't about the scriptures. It's about what you can do for me, and how many behinds you can kiss. Now, with that being said, let's get to the meat of the topic. Now, I was watching some of the class that's been put out as of late. I don't pay too much attention to it, but I was watching some of the class that was put out as of late, and I keep hearing this thing about me and Judah's on drugs, and he's the rapper guy, and so on and so forth. But some of the stuff that's been thrown in there, some of the shade that was thrown in there, is somebody's wife committed adultery, and then the brother goes back to his wife, and now him and his wife are together. So I was like, who is he talking about? Because I know one of the antics that they do is if somebody leaves a congregation, let's say they got an issue with me and Judah. If somebody leaves their congregation and that person is on drugs or that person committed adultery, they'll try to tie all them in to make it seem like that's me and Judah. So if a brother leaves for drugs, they'll mention something between me and Judah that they disagree with or don't like, and then they'll throw that person in there also, so people will be like, dang, well maybe they talking about Judah and Masharathia. So when he mentioned the adultery thing, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, well, maybe somebody committed adultery, went back to their wife, and he's trying to lump it in with me and Judah or myself, so it'll be put in other people's mind that he's talking about me. So I caught on to that, me and Judah and some other people. So a brother reached out to me and he was like, Mosh, I need to talk to you. And I'm like, what's going on? What do you need to talk to me about? And he was like, bro, they slandering you. They speaking evil of you. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he said, I'm going to show you. So he sent me this and I'm going to share it with y'all. And then when I'm done, I'm going to put it on Facebook so everybody can see it, so you know that I'm not lying. And I'm telling you, man, that's why when I do these classes, brothers and sisters, I tell y'all, you can't trust everybody that walks in your life. I've been there. I've been through these situations. The stuff that I've been through in the past year and a half, 2 years, it taught me a great lesson. And I know a lot of people get tired of me mentioning things, and even Judah himself, but we can only teach you the life experiences that we've gone through, so you don't have to go through that. And I'm gonna show you. So here's the beginning of the message, and I'm gonna put names out there too. We ain't hiding anything today. So the beginning of this message, it goes. This is from Captain Amariah. Captain Amariah is over Phoenix, the Phoenix camp. I met this brother one time. He came to Dallas because Bishop Nathaniel was coming to Dallas, and we had to get together at my house because I had a pretty big house. So I met him and the other brother, his name is Issachar. So they came to my house, and then that's how Amariah, he ended up meeting his wife at my house because she was part of the Dallas camp at that time. So that's the only meeting that me and this brother ever had. We've never spoke before that, and we've never spoke after that. But Amariah starts the message off because they have a private feed that they all are on there. And so we're going to go through this private feed that they have. So Captain Amariah of Arizona goes, he says, it's not just this when the Sabbath starts and ends BS. Their oil is completely gone. Masharathia took his wife back, so I guess a woman being defiled and can't take her back has a different understanding as well. So anybody that knows my situation, I used to be married in this truth, and then my wife committed adultery. And the first people that I contacted was Bishop Nathaniel, Bishop Kanai, and then after that I contacted Judah. And I told them everything that happened. And that's why I tell y'all, the scripture tells y'all, be careful who you tell your secrets to. Be careful who you tell your business to, because the moment we just did this class, me and Emiel, was it yesterday? Because the moment you tell people your secrets, all of your business will be put out on Front Street. The moment you leave them, now you're the topic of their conversations. So the brother is telling me not only is my oil out, but supposedly I took my ex-wife back, the sister who committed adultery on me. And that ain't true. Anybody that knows me, I live in Austin. Her and two of my other children, they live in Dallas. It's about 2.5 hours away. The only time we see each other is when we meet halfway, and I take my two kids and go my way, and she go her way. So on and so forth. That's the only contact we have. I have my son, he got his own phone, and my children with her, they got their own phone. So her and I have no need to communicate with each other other than when are you coming to get the kids? So for them to make that statement and say that I went back to her, where would you get that information from? I don't even talk to Amarai. I know nothing about this brother. I know nothing about him. So why would he make that statement? So we're gonna read on. So now you got Captain Severus. I met Captain Severus one time when we went to Orlando when there was the hurricane that was going on in Miami. All of Miami went to Orlando. Me, Judah, and Bishop Kanai, we got in Judah's vehicle from Orlando, and we drove to we got in our vehicle in Austin, excuse me, and we drove to Orlando, and I think that was like 17 hours to be with them brothers. So again, I met him and I had no issue with him. Everything was cool. We had a good time, and I think we was there for I had to guess maybe 3-4 days in Orlando. So he gets on there and he's like, shake my damn head. Brother, I don't know you. I don't know you, and I don't know Amariah. So then Captain Jeremiah gets on there and he goes, wow, shake my head. Captain Jeremiah, he used to be in Austin. Now he's over the school in San Antonio. This brother right here, when Bishop Kanai told me that if I was to leave to go to Kentucky, he was going to do to me the same thing that he was going to do to Judah. And I told him, I said, brother, you threatening me. And Bishop Kanai goes, you damn right I'm threatening you. When he said that, you had Deacon Abayel there and you had Captain Uzziah there. Stood back and they said nothing. So when all this stuff was going on, when he made that statement towards me, I used to have to go back and forth to Dallas to take care of some legal issues because that was during the time of my divorce, and I still had a house that I had to sell, and I had to do my legal stuff with my children to get custody or whatever. So I wasn't able to be in Austin like that. And so Bishop Kanai, he told me that I wouldn't have to do anything but when I told him I was leaving, and that's when he tried to put all this stuff on me and make me do some things because he was angry that I was leaving Austin and I was going to go to Kentucky. So he started doing stuff to get me written up, to try to get me caught up and try to get me in trouble. So the first time he tried to get me written up, he sent Captain Jeremiah and he sent, what is his name? Can't think of the brother's name right now. This is probably a good thing. Captain Jeremiah sits me down and he goes, Mosh, what they doing to you is wrong. And he said, I know exactly what they doing, and I know exactly what he said. He told you that he was not going to, that you didn't have to do anything because you had other stuff that he wanted you to do. But the moment that I said that I was leaving, now he tried to get me caught up. Bishop Kanai did. And Captain Jeremiah said that he knew it. He said it's wrong. I know it's wrong, Mosh. I was there when he said you wouldn't have to do nothing else. He was like, but there's nothing I can do about it. He told me to do it, him and Uzziah. So I'm looking at him and I'm like, damn, so if you know this stuff is wrong, why wouldn't you stand up and say anything? But instead, he wanted to write me up. He was like, hey, they said it. I know what he said, but Mosh, I'm going to have to write you up anyway. And I'm looking at him and I said, I'm not signing that. You're not going to make me sign that. He said I didn't have to do anything. And he mad because I'm leaving? And Captain Jeremiah goes, yeah, I know. And so I had a few talks with Captain Jeremiah after that. And he said what they doing to me is messed up. I got written up because me and Judah drove a U-Haul truck to Atlanta for the Passover. And because Captain Uzziah didn't know about it, they wanted to write me up. But I was on the phone with Bishop Kanai when we was on our way to Atlanta. So I'm like, I told Uzziah, I'm like, Bishop Kanai know that I was in Atlanta. I was on the phone with him. And Captain Jeremiah was like, yeah, I know, it's messed up, but I got to write you up. So that's the type of stuff that I had to deal with, all because I didn't want to be around Bishop Kanai. That all because I didn't want to be around Bishop Kanai. He knew about that. So now he's on here saying, wow, shake my head. Brother, you know better than that. You know me. You got my phone number. We used to talk all the time. So why would you come out and then you put your 2 cents in? So now that's him. So now you got Officer Yawasop. Now you got Officer Yawasop on here, and he puts scriptures on here. And he's talking about the evening to evening, morning to morning thing. Bless his heart. He don't know any better. But Officer Yawasop, he used to come to us and complain about the stuff that he was going through in Oklahoma. So I'm like, why are you on here on this feed and you got something to say? You used to call us and complain about the stuff that was going on in your school and the stuff that Deacon Abayel was doing. And so now you on here trying to clown. I'm telling you, I'm mentioning everybody who has something to say on here. So for you now, because he's a 50 now he has something to say. Now he wants to fit in. So now let's go on. And again, he posted some scriptures and he don't know what he's talking about. He tried to do the evening thing and he failed miserably. So now you got after he posted, now you got Captain Zakar. I met Captain Zakar in Orlando as well. And I met him when we did the school opening in Louisville. And I'm gonna tell y'all something too. When they try to say we try to start our own camp, that was a lie. As a matter of fact, Deacon Yawasop was at the school opening, and Captain Hananiah was at the school opening when me and Judah was there. So when we at the school opening, they were seeing the stuff that me and Judah was doing up there at the school. So during the time we were eating and stuff like that, Captain Hananiah and Deacon Yawasop was having a conversation with me and Judah, and Judah had been talking to them throughout that whole day. And Judah told them we was moving to Kentucky to help build the school, and both of them was like, "Hey, that'll be good for Kentucky, man. They need it because they've been around. That school's been around the second longest. New York was around first, and then Kentucky was around the second longest. And so, but they weren't growing because nobody would go there to help build. So Judah was like, hey, I'm going to go and help build Kentucky. I'm from there. It's my old stomping grounds. I love the city. I love those brothers. Let's go there and build. And so I told him I would go with him. So we go to Kentucky for the grand opening. And again, you had Deacon Yawasop there and you had Captain Hananiah there. We're talking to them. Both of them go, hey, you two coming to Kentucky will be good for that school because that school can have the potential of being the second biggest school, if not the biggest school in IUIC. That's out of both of their mouths. And so the fact when they was trying to say that we was trying to do our own thing, I was disappointed in both of them because Deacon Yawasop, he could have spoke up and he didn't. Captain Hananiah could have spoke up and he didn't. And I'm like, they knew. They was at the grand opening. That's why when you go to my feed, you'll see the pictures of us standing like this next to each other. They knew we was going to Kentucky. They co-signed for us to go to Kentucky. Bishop Kanai knew we was going to Kentucky. He didn't like it, but he knew we was going. So for them to sit out there and say that they didn't know and we creating stuff, it's a lie. And those men that sit next to Bishop Nathaniel knew that and they lied about it. Matter of fact, I had when I got removed from Austin, I had a phone call from Bishop Nathaniel because I told him I was leaving. I sent him a text message and said I was leaving IUIC. So he calls me and he goes, Mosh, the reason why we didn't want you to go to the reason why I backtracked. He said the reason why I wanted you to stay in Austin is because we thought because what your wife did that you was going to end up leaving the truth. And I was like, no, I wasn't going to leave the truth because of that. And he goes, well, I told Bishop Kanai to have you stay in Austin for a year. And then after a year, you can go and do whatever it is, like move forward from there. I was like, well, that ain't what Bishop Kanai told me at all. He didn't tell me that at all. He tried to force me to stay there. As if it was his own doing, and on this, I'm your father, you do what I tell you to do type stuff. No, it didn't work like that. And so he was like, well, that's why I wanted you to stay. And then he was like, well, why didn't you tell me all this stuff that Bishop Kanai was doing to you? And I said, the reason why I didn't tell you is because I thought you was in on it too. I didn't trust Bishop Nathaniel. You know the scripture when it says, we read it earlier in Sirach 13? Every creature consorted to his like. So they always together. Do you think I trust you? No, I don't trust you. You and all the stuff that Bishop Kanai does, he can't get away with that stuff without you knowing. So no, hell no, I didn't trust him, and I still don't trust him. So he asked me, he was like, so all the stuff that was going on, how come you didn't tell me? So I told him why I didn't tell him, so on and so forth. So let's get back to this. So Captain Zakar, back to that, I met him in Louisville and I met him in Orlando. I never had no problems with Zakar whatsoever. Matter of fact, I thought highly of him when I was up there. Very intelligent brother, very smart brother. But we all know again how the ranking system works. They told you, you shut up, do what you told. Let me do the thinking for you, so on and so forth, right? So he's on here and he hits up Captain Amariah and he goes, that's crazy. And I'm like, Zakar, he got my phone number too, man. And a lot of these brothers, they used to come to me if they needed some help in certain things, especially during the Passover. So the reason why I bring that out is it's not like they don't have my phone number. They can call me if they wanted to see if something was true. But they keep allowing stuff to be put out and said, and they sitting amongst your congregation as leaders, knowing that what Bishop Nathaniel and what Bishop Kanai and whoever else, the deacons, knowing what they're saying is a lie, and these are the men that you follow, and they sit back saying nothing, and they're responsible for your souls, and they not saying nothing. The same ones that say, yeah, we doing the 800-man march. 800 liars. You damn right. 800 scared men. That's why me and Judah tell y'all, we know these men. They'll sit up there and look high and mighty, and y'all be like, wow, look at them. Scared men. Scared cowards. So, now you got Officer Micah. Officer Micah gets on here, and he pulls a scripture. Officer Micah, I love the brother, man. I'm not going to go too hard on the brother, but I love Micah. He's out of the St. Louis camp. I'm just disappointed in him because he used to call me and Judah for counsel because, you know, he was still young and he didn't know a whole lot of things. So he used to come to us for counsel. And when we went to go visit him in St. Louis, we took him, his wife, another couple, and two other sisters. We took them out to go see a live band, and we had a good time. Live band, live music. The brother, real cool brother, real laid back. And then after that, we went out to dinner. We spent the whole time out there with him and his family. So I'm like, why in the hell are you jumping on here, bro? We ain't got no issues. You used to hit me up on Telegram and ask for advice and ask for counsel. And then all of a sudden now you turn your back on me as well? And that's why I'm going to keep saying it. That's why y'all cannot, you got to be careful who you deal with. Because people will turn on you quickly for no reason. And I'm like, brother, you know me. You know me better than some of these other people on here. And now you got to jump on here? I ain't got no issues with you, Micah. Zero. So after that, now you got Captain Amariah. He comes back on here and he puts... No, before him, now you got Officer E-Rail, who does security for Atlanta. I had no issue with this brother. When we drove down, me and Judah took the U-Haul truck and we drove down to Atlanta. We went out to dinner with this brother. I'm going to tell y'all something about that trip. When we got to Atlanta, we were supposed to have some brothers sit there and help me and Judah unload the U-Haul truck. When we got there to unload the U-Haul truck, we had two people there to help us. A truck full of stuff after we done drove 17, I think it's 11 hours. I think it's 11, 12 hours, something like that from Austin to Atlanta. And we supposed to have about 10, 15 brothers to come there and help us unload the stuff. Two brothers was there after we drove that far. Me and Judah unload the truck with the other two brothers. And as we conversing with them, Judah's like, hey, where is Deacon Malachi? who's over Atlanta. He was like, "Where's Deacon Malachi at? And where is Captain Amaziah?" And they was like, "They're truck drivers." They were like, "Hey, they're truck drivers. So they're out of town." So me and Judah's like, "Cool, okay, they out of town. Let's handle this business. And whoever's in town, we'll hang out with them and we'll go out to eat, so on and so forth." So Officer Erel was one of the people that we ended up going out to eat. He took us to a Japanese spot. So we get out, we come back to Austin, right? We're here in Austin. Judah's pressing shirts. I remember this day like it was yesterday. Judah's pressing shirts. Deacon Malachi calls, and we ain't thinking nothing of it. And he picks up the phone, Judah does, and he's like, "Hey, Shalom, Deacon, what's going on?" Deacon started chewing Judah's behind. And he's like, "How dare you come to my city, and you don't call me?" And Judah goes, "Hey, Deacon, we was in your city and we asked where you were, and they told us that you was on the road." And Deacon Malachi goes, "I don't care. You in my city. When you in my city, you call me. Now you giving these other brothers permission to come to my city and do what they want to do." And he was like, "You wasn't there. You was out of town. You was on the road." Bro, and I'm telling you, y'all have no idea the stuff that we be having to deal with. And he's like, "Bro, you're not in the city. We was going to go out to eat with you, but we was told you were not in the city." And that was his response. He was like, "I don't care. You in my city, you call me." And Judah got off the phone. He was like, "Bro, this is crazy. This is madness." So anyway, we go out to eat with Erel. Ain't no issue with me and Erel and Judah and so on and so forth. So for Erel to get on here and post unclean jump off and Sunday prayer services, and then he got a brother somebody that's throwing up in the toilet. I don't know, and I'm like, why would he even post that, bro? Because again, when I met you, we had no issues. Matter of fact, when we was going back to the airport, he came and got us, and he took us through the security, because that's what he works for, to help us get to our plane. No issues with the brother. So I'm like, why is he posted on here? Yeah, Malachi is very nasty. During the Passover, man, he put it out there that he said captains shouldn't be hanging out with officers. Officers shouldn't be hanging out with soldiers. Soldiers shouldn't be hanging out with brothers. And I'm like, where the hell is that in the scriptures? You mean to tell me that I can't hang out with somebody if I get along with them, all because of the ranking system? He put that out there. When he went to Dallas, he told them the same thing. And then he told the brothers that y'all need to send people out there, the soldiers, to sit there and spy on people's conversations. And then when y'all spy on people's conversations, y'all need to come back and report it to leadership. I said, man, y'all crazy. This is when I had left and I lived down here. And I said, man, y'all crazy. Y'all listen to that? I said, y'all follow that? Y'all listen to that? And he was like, yeah, that's what we was told that we needed to do. Bruh, I'm telling y'all, it's a whole lot of stuff that y'all don't know. And if I can remember some of it, yeah, I'm putting it out there. Because I'm tired of the rumors and the lies and y'all thinking everything is kosher. No. And let's keep going. So then, after Officer Erel messages, now you got Bishop Nathaniel. He goes on there and he puts Deuteronomy 24:4 that talks about her former husband, which sent her away, may not take her again to be his wife. After that, she is defiled. For that is abomination before the Lord. And thou shalt not cause the land to sin, which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance. Me and Bishop Nathaniel spoke about this whole situation. And he knows good and dang well that I wasn't dealing with her like that. Me and her wasn't even getting together like that. So I'm like, why would you post that scripture to try to add fuel to the fire when you know I don't deal with her like that? And I'm gonna tell you how one of the things that he did that rubbed me the wrong way. He came down here. During the course of my situation, and we all met up. And I'm gonna tell you, this is why I had a good relationship with them. they had a captain and up get together at Bishop Kanai's house. They allowed me to go to that meeting because I had good relationships with them. And so because of that, they had to let some other people go. Otherwise, they would have got upset because it was like, why would you let Maserati go? He not a captain, but you let these brothers who are high ranking go or not go. So anyway, I get there and Bishop Nathaniel is there. And he goes, hey, Shalom, Mosh, how you doing? I haven't seen you in a long time. It's good to see you. How you been? And I'm like, cool. I said, I've been good, Shalom, Bishop, good to see you as well. Then he goes, hey, we've been talking about you. He was like, I got some stuff to talk about with you. And so I look at Captain Uzziah, and Captain Uzziah got this embarrassed look on his face. And long story short, they was talking behind my back about something that took place between my ex-wife and the brother that it happened with. So when I asked Captain Uzziah to let me know what happened, because he used to counsel her before she just left the truth, period. And so she had told him some things that took place between her and the brother, and he held on to that. And he didn't even tell me, because I asked him, think about it, I'm going to court. So it would make sense that you would tell me so I can go to the court and let them know what the hell is going on. But he kept that from me. But once Bishop Nathaniel comes around and Bishop Kanai comes around, he tells them to. Why the hell would you do that? Why would you do that? Why would you tell them but you don't tell me? And then when I come in, I'm the topic of your discussion. I'm the part that y'all talk about at your get together. So, long story short about that, I asked Captain about it, and he told me what he told him. I don't think he told me everything, but he told me the gist of what they conversed about. And so I felt a certain type of way about that. And now this information that he knows, he used it against me. Bishop Nathaniel is who I'm talking about. That's why you see him on the stage and he'll sit there and make certain comments. It's the stuff that you keep in secret that you would think that he would keep to himself. He'll expose it because you're not with him no more. And I'm just going to be straight up. I've had people that know what's going on, that knows him, and they don't deal with him no more. And they said he's always been like that. That's why he's been to three different camps. He was an elder at 2 other camps. He don't tell y'all for whatever reason, but this is his 3rd camp. 3rd or 4th camp, one of them. I know he's at One West, House of David, 12 Tribes, and then he started IUIC. So for all y'all brothers and sisters that think that he just appeared and floated out of the cloud and started IUIC, you're sadly mistaken. He's been to 3 other camps before he even started IUIC. So he pulls that scripture and he's adding fuel to the fire. So then right behind him comes, who was that right behind him? Right behind him comes Officer Gad. Officer Gad goes, it's a shame. All them works them brothers did is now amounted to nothing. Damn. And so, again, Officer Gad, I met him a few times. I met him a few times. I like Officer Gad. I mean, bro, we had a blast when we was he's from Miami, and when we went to the Orlando, the Hurricane, me, Judah, and Bishop, I got to speak and get to know him, man. Real cool brother. And we sitting there playing spades and all talking trash and talking about scriptures and anything else you can think of. And I was like, damn, it was a pleasure for me to meet him because I heard a lot about him and I seen him on like YouTube videos and stuff like that. So when I finally got to meet him, I was happy to meet him. I had no issues with him. And now he's on here making comments. And I'm like, damn, again, if you needed to reach out, you could have said something. But he's on here making comments. So now you got Captain Amaziah, of Atlanta. I'm telling you, man, Atlanta, the spirits in Atlanta, I get brothers and sisters that call me from Atlanta all the time and talk about Atlanta. I'm just going to leave it at that as far as Atlanta. He gets on here and he goes, that nigga took his wife back. Ew, he nasty, shake my head. This is Captain Amaziah. And so I'm like, I don't even know you. We don't even talk like that. So for you to get on here and now I'm a nigga. When the scripture says you're supposed to restore me, now I'm a nigga. And I'm not ish to you. To the point that you can't even say, brother, if you dealing with your wife and she committed adultery, you need to get out of that situation. But yet you don't even have the decency or the common courtesy to even do that, to try to restore me. I'm just a nigga to you now, and you want to make that known. Then you get Captain Zephaniah, which in New York, and I have respect for him too. I don't have no issue with him, and I'm not even going to speak anything against Captain Zephaniah. I met him, and I actually like him. He just posted a thing and said "forever unclean," and it's a picture. But him and I don't know each other, and I never try to speak against somebody that I don't know. It's just disheartening for brothers to come out and it's like, if we don't know each other, we don't deal like that. Shiloh goes, no, I don't know him, no. I can't. This is the one thing you're going to know about me. If you got an issue with somebody, that's between you two. But you can't make me not like somebody or me speak evil or against somebody and I don't know them. I don't know them. But yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, so Zephaniah, he got on there. Captain Zephaniah, he gets on there and says forever unclean. And he puts a little picture up there. So yeah, he joins in on the thing as well. And then Captain Mattathias from Tallahassee, he gets on there. He goes, that verse was omitted in the Mac Thomas version Bible. So then you got Officer Michael from Orlando and Captain Amaziah to get on there, and they go LOL, LOL, LOL. And then you got Captain Amariah that gets on there, and then he posts another scripture, and he's basically just kissing behind. And then you got Captain Amaziah that gets back on there, and he has something that I really can't tell. I think it says these Jews ain't loyal, something like that. But yeah, that's the reason why normally, like I said, I sit back, man, and I say nothing. Because I don't let anything bother me like that. But I'm not even doing it for myself. I'm doing it for a lot of y'all that call and y'all are like, don't say nothing. Y'all got to let this stuff slide. And y'all got to just let them do it. And then once you do that, guess what happens? Those people who are in that congregation who are in fear, afraid, and if you don't speak up for them, they get bullied. This whole system is built on bullying. This whole system is built on you being weak. And I've told y'all before, I'm not built like that. I'm not built like that. I'm going to apply and do what the scripts say, and that's what we're going to do. And I'm not going to be no respecter of no person because of title and status and stuff like that. You got the wrong one. I've been through too much in my life to deal with some stuff like that. And I had somebody call me yesterday and talk about how afraid they are. And they don't feel like nobody's standing up for them. So me and Judah gonna keep doing this until it changes. Either y'all get the courage to leave, or until these men stop doing what they doing. And like I said, I know a lot of y'all brothers and sisters want us to teach other things that's different, and we will. But I'm not gonna abandon those who look for us to help them. I'm not gonna do it. I can't do it. Hold on a second, y'all. Cool. All right. I'm going to talk to this person afterwards. But I'm telling y'all, these are the things that go on behind closed doors. And they'll put stuff out. They'll put all these lies out. And they'll make y'all believe it. And then that's where all the hatred comes. Matter of fact, I read this scripture the other day. I'm almost done, man. I said what I had to say about it. So, Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 12. Matter of fact, I had somebody call me the other day and ask me if I do drugs. They was like, hey, Mosh, tell me it's not true that they saying that y'all do drugs. You and Judah promote, smoking weed and all this other stuff. And I'm like, where the hell would you get that from? And I'm like, to myself, and anybody that knows me, I'm retired from the military. I'm medically retired. If I did any drugs, I wouldn't be able to get my retirement. So why the hell would I be sitting around here promoting drug use when they can see what I do? And another thing for them to go out there and say, yeah, you don't go out in the streets and you don't teach. Because of my status and my situation, I'm not allowed to. I can't. So don't believe everything y'all hear. I'm telling you, do not believe everything you hear. Proverbs 29:12. It says, if a ruler hearken to lies, all his servants are wicked. So all these lies and all these things that these men are putting out, that's the reason why these men are the way that they are. That's why they're able to spew the hatred and spew out all these the deceit and stuff like that, because it's the men that they follow, and that's how you move up in rank. You just heard it yourself in the video. If you didn't hear it, go back in the beginning. I'm gonna give you one more scripture, Matthew chapter 23 and verse 15. It says, woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye compass sea and land to make one proselyte, and when he is made, ye make him twofold more the child of hell than yourselves. Meaning, yeah, IUIC goes through the four corners of the earth and all, the other street teaching, so on and so forth, and then they convert people, right? But it says once you convert people over to you, you make them worse than yourself. Because now that you got them, they play on your ignorance. Just like any of us. We all were searching for something. We knew there was something better out there than what we were dealing with and what we had. But we weren't well versed in the scriptures. We didn't know about Deuteronomy 28. We didn't know any of that stuff. So you see these great men on the streets teaching, and they look just like you, and they tell you Christ look like you, and they not able to navigate through the scriptures, and you see that and you like, damn. So that's what I've been searching for. I don't know how to combat that stuff, so you hear it and you believe it. But once you walk through those doors, they got you. It's hook, line, sinker. You the devil if you try to leave after that. They play on your ignorance. And then they tell you that we the great men and we doing this and we're building and we the best. And in order for you to be the best, you got to mimic us and you got to be like us. You got to treat these people like this and you got to do that. And that's what they do. It's a crab in a bucket mentality. And you make the men the men and the sisters who genuinely love the Lord and wanted to serve the Lord, now they become worse than when they came in. Worse than when they came in. Because I can tell you a lot of these brothers and sisters weren't like that until they came in. And in order for you to fit into the crowd, you got to become evil as hell. You got to become spiteful. You got to become deceitful. If you want to make rank, you got to step on toes. You got to become liars. You got to be in agreement with lies. You got to be in agreement with deceit. You got to look the other way when it comes to certain things. And that's how you make rank. That's how you get in certain positions. I know this because I was there. And I wouldn't make any of this stuff up. And what snapped me out of it was we didn't have anybody to learn from in Dallas like that. And what snapped me out of it was being around Judah. And that's why they hated Judah. I remember there was a situation that happened, man, where I ended up having to counsel a brother. And for no reason, man, I had hatred toward the brother because that's what you taught. You see it on the video screens. You go back and you practice it. And I had hatred for a brother for no reason. And Judah checked me on that thing. And when he checked me on it, that's when I came to the realization of that's how you really supposed to be. But he was going against what everybody else was doing. All the other captains and deacons and whoever else had an evil spirit. Judah was always about family and about love and about being around each other and enjoying each other. He's always been like that. And being around him for that time, man, I saw that that's really how you're supposed to be. And I wanted to be like that. And so they hated that. So when I told them, when I had a meeting with Bishop Kanai and Captain Uzziah, the first meeting, they asked me what was I doing, and I told them I was going to Kentucky. And he was like, why would you choose Judah over me? And I was like, it had nothing to do with choosing Judah over you. I wanted to do something different in my life. I was ready to move on, and I wanted to get out of Texas and do something different. And he took it personal. And that's when he was like, Judah's covetous and Judah's this and Judah's that. And I said, Bishop, I ain't never seen Judah be covetous. Judah's never asked me for nothing. Judah's never tried to take nothing from me. Judah's never tried to ask me for money. He's never done any of that stuff. And I told him, I said, whatever issues y'all have, that's between y'all. And he was like, you know, the people love him, but you can call his peers, and his peers, they don't have no respect for him. They don't like him. So I called 2 of his peers, 2 captains, because Bishop Kanai was like, call them. Call his peers. His peers will tell you they don't like him. So I'm like, cool. I'm not going to give you one of his peers, but I'm going to give you one of them, Captain Hoshea. I called Captain Hoshea because him and Judah was close to each other. So all that stuff y'all see from Captain Hoshea is a lie. I called Captain Hoshea and I said, Captain, tell me about Judah, because I'm thinking about moving to Kentucky with Judah. I want to make sure that's the right move. He had no problem with it. He was like, cool. Judah's a cool brother. No issues, man. He loves the Lord. He keeps the commandments, so on and so forth. No issues. You can learn from him if you go to Kentucky. That's out of his own mouth. And then I'll say a couple of weeks later, he comes behind that and he's like, well, I'm going to ride with leadership no matter what. I'm going to give you the short version of the conversation. He said no matter what, he's going to ride with the leadership. So when we had that judgment between me and Judah, I told Judah, I said, bro, you got to be careful with Hoshea, because regardless of what's right and what's wrong, they pay his bills. You think he going to speak against them? Hell no, he not going to speak against them. They pay his bills. So when the judgment came, he was on the judgment seat talking all this stuff. And I'm like, bro, you don't even have no issue with Judah. So why would you be on the judgment seat in agreement with something and you ain't even in this city? You don't even know what's going on. And then you vouched for me to go to Kentucky with Judah. You vouched. I called the 2 closest people to Judah and you vouched for that. And you were sitting in the judgment panel judging something. I was like, bro, and after that, Judah looked at me. He's like, Mosh, I know you told me, and I didn't want to believe you. I tried to see the good in people, and he did me like that. He was like, you was right, Mosh. And I said, I told you that. I told you. I knew that was going to happen. I said, you expect somebody who, when they pay his bills, you think he going to speak against them? You're not going to bite the hand that feeds you, regardless. Because he even said it. He told Judah, I ain't got no problem with you, but I'm going to ride with the leadership. He said that. So all this mighty stuff you see Captain Hoshea do, he's just like the rest of them, man. Don't feed into that madness, that garbage. They all like that. They're all like that. Every last one of them are like that. I can go into more and more details, and they try to get me into that situation too, and I told them I wasn't doing it. And that was my downfall, is I told them I didn't want to do that. They tried to offer me stuff, and I didn't want to do it. I ain't going to go into details, but I didn't want to do it. I turned it down. And that was the beginning of the end for me. And that's how I got that out of my situation. Well, that's how I got into my situation, and that's how I got kicked out. Because I didn't want to do it. And I told them no. And I was trying to get out of Austin to get away from Bishop Kanai. Because there's a lot of deceitful stuff that he was doing, and I wanted to get away from him. And he wouldn't let me get away. He was like, why would you choose Judah over me? Why do you want to be next to me? I can do this for you. I can do that for you. I can give you this. I didn't want any of that. I just wanted to get away from him. And he wouldn't let me leave. And because of that, he told me that was going to be the end for me. And that's exactly what happened. So, anyway, I think I spoke long enough. I don't know how long that was. But, again, I know a lot of brothers and sisters come on here and say, y'all need to let it go and what's going on and so on and so forth. There you go. That's probably about 50% of it right there. There you go. So don't be asking no more and be saying, how come y'all don't speak up and stand up? You take this information and you do whatever you will with it. It's not like I'm lying. I sit here, I read exactly what I told you, what was going on, and I posted on Facebook. And there's some other stuff that happened too, and if they keep talking, then that information will come out too. And also, you'll have people like Deacon Laba or Deacon ASAP, and they'll say, why didn't y'all say anything before y'all left? Or why y'all saying stuff now? We actually did. I actually spoke to Bishop Nathaniel about what was going on, and his response was, "I'll get back to you on it," and he was gonna look into it. But then he ends up coming back and telling a couple of people saying that he didn't believe me in Judah, and then he'll be damned if he let anybody destroy what he has going on. Out of his own mouth. He said, I'll be damned if he let anybody destroy what he has going on. So to Deacon Asaph and Deacon Laba, we did go to him. I spoke to him personally. And he said he was going to look into it, and he never did. So there you go. One thing y'all gonna understand about myself and Judah is we don't run from nobody. So we went to him, and it wasn't just me and him. If anybody else want to speak on them and what they did, they can. But it wasn't just us two. But they'll never tell y'all that. They will never tell y'all that. They will conceal. What they do is they conceal the walls, and then they close it in, and then they feed y'all whatever they want to feed y'all. And that ain't true. That ain't true at all. I went to him. I went to Bishop Kanai. I went to Bishop Kanai 3 times and told him I was still going to Kentucky. The hell was I scared of him for? I'm not. Who is he to be afraid of? He said what he had to say. He asked me if I'm still going, and I said, yeah, I'm still leaving. So anyway, I'm out of here. It is what it is. Y'all take the information, do what you will. If you want to share it for other brothers and sisters who's in that camp, and anybody else who's dealing with the madness or got questions, share the video. Share this thing. What's today? Wednesday? Share it for like the next month. And hopefully there's people that's on the inside that'll get this. And if anybody got questions, you know where to find me. Shalom.